Hello there. Welcome to the second part of this story. Here we have seen till now that there is this man known as Horace Danby who is fond of collecting books or reading the books which are rare and expensive. He is by profession a person who makes law. He is doing good. He has two people working under him. He has a housekeeper and he is considered as a respectable person. But what's the problem with him? He is not that much honest. Why? Because he was sentenced into a prison, into a jail for some kind of crime. And let's see what was that crime. That crime was in process. That is in process that we were looking into. He was into a house in Grange area, and over there he was stealing a safe. Whatever money he gets by stealing a safe every year, he spends that money in buying rare and expensive books. And these rare and expensive books are his hobby, his craving, for which he goes to the end of robbery. And this is what he does every year. Today he is going for the robbery, or he has actually went to rob a house in Grange area. And in that Grange area, he has entered into a house where all the family members have gone to London, and the two housekeepers or the servants, they have gone for watching a movie. So he has entered through the garden wall into the kitchen, and from kitchen he is almost there opening the safe. But there is one more problem with Horace, and that is he suffers from hay fever. Hay fever, that we have already discussed in the last lecture, that it is a kind of fever which usually occurs due to some allergy. That allergy could be of a plant, or maybe some leaves or trees or flowers, or it could be because of some dust. And when he enters into the house, on the center table there is a bowl cap, and in that bowl there are flowers, and these flowers are continuously giving a tickle. In a way, they are irritating inside the nose of Horace, because of which he sneezes. Getting fed up of sneezing, he ties a handkerchief on his face so that the smell of the flowers does not enter into his nose. At the time when he was working on his tools and he was about to open the safe, at that time enters a young lady. There is a woman. That woman enters and she directly asks a question to Horace, that what problem you have? Do you have a cold or a hay fever? Now, very casually, Horace answered that I have a hay fever, without realizing that there is someone else also in this house and he is here as a robber. And when he looked at that lady was a woman of the house, and she was standing over there. She was having a very firm voice, and the dog was playing with her. She also commented that anyone would have thought that I was not here, I was in London, but it was today morning that I have arrived, and I was upstairs when I heard your sneezing, and I have come over here. Now, it's really thrilling to know whether this woman is going to complain to the police and get Horace caught, or Horace is going to harm this lady because she is the owner. Let's see. Horace had some hope because she seemed to be amused at meeting him. See, Horace met this lady, this woman, for the first time. So, looking at her, he was having some hope inside him that this girl, this woman, is talking so amusingly. Well, means she is talking so nicely when she has met me for the first time. Otherwise, usually what happens is when we find a thief at our home, we usually shout, we call the police, we run here and there. But this lady was not at all afraid. She was just standing over there and talking to this robber. He might avoid trouble if he treated her the right way. So Horace was thinking, if I treated her in the right way, means if I talked with her in the right way, I could avoid this trouble of being caught. So he replied, I didn't expect to meet one of the family. Okay, so Horace said, I did not expect to meet one of the family, means when I came here to rob the things, at that time I was not expecting, means I was not knowing that we would be able to meet any member of the family like you. She nodded and she moved her head and she said, I see what an inconvenience it is for you to meet me. I can see कि आपको आज यहाँ मुझे मिलके कितनी तकलीफ हुई होगी. So much of inconvenience you have to face just because you met me over here. What are you going to do? Now Horace is eager to ask. So he's asking directly, what are you going to do with me? My first thought was to run. Okay, so Horace said that, asked the lady that what are you going to do now? And he said that my first thought was to run. No, the first thought that I had was to run from this place, keep everything aside and move from this place. Then what was the reply of the lady? Of course you can do that, but I will telephone the police and tell them about you. they had get you at once. They would get you as once. So the lady said, okay, fine. You can run away. But you know, if you run, what I'm going to do? I'm going to give a call to the police. And as soon as police will come to know, they are going to catch you at once. Now Horace said, I would of course cut the telephone wires first and then. Okay. So before running away, first what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the telephone wires so that when I run, you are not able to call anyone. He hesitated, a smile on his face. See, Horace is into the house of that woman and he is talking to that woman and telling her bluntly on her face that I will cut the wire of your telephone and then I will run. And he is hesitating also because he is a bit nervous from inside, but he is also having the smile on his face. I would make sure that you could do nothing for some time. A few hours would be enough. So Horace is saying, I would make sure, I would do something that you are not able to do anything for some time. That means you are not able to take any actions against me for some time. And a few hours would be enough for me to run away from this place and to run away very far from this place. So before I leave, I will do something that you are not able to call anyone or inform anyone for few hours. She looked at him seriously. What does that mean? That something you are going to do so that I am not able to contact anyone for an hour? So you would hurt me? She's asking, you going to hurt me? So Horace paused. He stopped and he said, I think I was trying to frighten you when I said that. So Horace said, okay, I don't know, but by saying this, I was trying to scare you. I was trying to threaten you that if any lady is told like this by a thief that I will do something that you are not able to contact someone for a long time, then obviously any normal person will feel that you are going to beat me, you are going to tie me, or something you're going to do to me so that I am not able to call anyone or I am not able to contact anyone or run behind you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to hurt me? So Horace said, no, I was just saying, I thought by saying this, you might get frightened. You didn't frighten me, Horace suggested. Okay, so the girl said, the woman said, you didn't frighten me. Okay, though you have spoken this word, I am not frightened of you. The woman is very strong. So Horace gave a suggestion. It would be nice if you would forget you ever saw me. Let me go. So Horace said, I'm giving a suggestion. It would be better for you and for me. It would be nice if you forget whatever you forget you ever saw me. Just forget that you ever saw me, ever you saw me that I was inside your house, I was doing robbery, I was opening the safe. Just forget everything and let me go from this place. The voice was suddenly sharp. Whose voice? The lady's voice. And the lady said, why should I? Why should I forget this thing? You were going to rob me. Come on, you are going to rob me. You are going to take my things. You are going to take my valuables. If I let you go, you will only rob someone else. Today, if I don't teach you a lesson, and if today I rob you, what you are going to do? You will rob someone else then. Society must be protected from men like you. Okay, our society, it should be safe. It should be protected from people like you, from men like you, from thieves like you. If I let you go today, you are going to do the same thing with someone else tomorrow. So you should be learn a lesson. Now Horace smiled at that time. He said, I am not a man who threatens society. Okay, because we also know very well that Horace is not a thief by profession. It is his urge to steal valuables, or it is his urge to steal a safe every year just to buy books. So he is saying that I am not a man who is going to threaten or who is going to hurt society. I'm not bad for society. I steal only from those who have a lot of money. See, I don't steal each and every person who is walking on the road. I just steal those people. I rob only those people who are already having a lot of money. I steal for a good reason. Okay, there is a good reason for which I am stealing. I am doing robbery for some good reason. And I hate the thought of prison. See, I hate the thought of I can't even think of going into jail. I can't even think of going into prison. So please, I am doing this for a good reason. I am not like other men who harm the society and I don't want to go to prison. So she laughed and he begged, thinking that he had persuaded her. So listening to that, the woman started laughing. And to hear her laughing, this man Horace, he started begging him. Begging him means he tried to pursue him so firmly and said, thinking that he had persuaded her. Okay. Now Horace was thinking that as the woman is laughing, I think I was able to persuade her. To persuade her means to convince her. I think I am able to convince her. And then he says, look, I have no right to ask you for anything, but I am desperate. Let me go and I promise never to do this kind of thing again. I mean it. So she says, I have no right to ask you for anything. Okay. I have no right. Means I don't have any kind. I don't need any kind of permission from you to ask you anything whether I go or not. But I am desperate. I am desperate means I am in so much of haste. I am in hurry to know. I am very curious to know. So I am just telling you that let me go. Okay, let me go from this place, and I promise I'm not going to do this kind of things again. Okay, I'm not going to do such kind of things again. Going into anyone's house and robbing things. I will leave everything. I really mean it. I actually mean it. I actually tell you this thing that yes, I'm not going to rob anything in the future. I'm not going to harm society or anything like that, but just let me go. She was silent, watching him closely. Now look at this woman. Knowing a thief is standing in front of her, she is not at all moved. She is not frightened. She was just silently looking at him and very closely. Then she said, "You are really afraid of going to prison, aren't you?" So she is asking the question. From your facial expression and the way you are talking, I can make out you are afraid to go to prison because you are so scared to go to the jail. She came over to him, shaking her head. I have always liked the wrong kind of people. Okay, what kind of woman she is. She came near to this thief and she said, I have always liked the wrong kind of people. Means I always get attracted to, or I always like those kind of people who are somewhat wrong. I don't always like those people who are truthful, who are right. I like wrong people. So she picked up the silver box from the table and took a cigarette from it. Okay, so there was a silver block box which is made up of silver, and inside that there was cigarette cap. So she removed a cigarette from that. Horace, eager to please her and seeing that she might help him, took off his gloves and gave her his cigarette lighter. Okay, so that woman removed a cigarette from the box and she put the cigarette on the mouth. Now it was time to lit the cigarette. Now Horace was very much eager that I should please this lady. Please this lady means I should persuade, convince this lady. I should make this lady happy. So what he did, he removed his gloves and then he took a lighter from his pocket and then he gave that lighter to that woman and he said, "You will let me go." He held the lighter towards her. Okay, he gave the lighter and said that you will let me go. Okay, you will ask me to go from that place. Make me go from that place. So she said, "Yes, but only if you will do something from for me." So the lady is saying, "Okay, I'll let you go, but you have to do something for me. One thing you have to do for me. There is a condition." So this man said, Horace said, "Okay, anything you say, whatever you say, I'm ready to do that." Now, what is her command or her condition? Before we left for London, I promised my husband to take my jewels to our bank, but I left them here in the safe. Okay, so this woman is saying that my husband, okay, the master of this house, before we went to London, I promised my husband, no, the jewelry that is here in the safe, my jewels, that I am going to keep in the bank. But I left them here in the safe, but she forgot and she kept this jewelry in the safe over here. I want to wear them to a party tonight, so I came down to get them, but so she is saying, actually, I came down to get the jewelry which is inside the safe right now because tonight I'm going for a party and I want to wear that jewelry. Now Horace was smiling and says, "You have forgotten the numbers to open the safe, haven't you?" So Horace understood what this woman wanted. So Horace directly said, "You have forgotten the number of how to open the safe. You have forgotten the number, because these are the safe in which we put our valuable things, money, jewelry, and other things. So these are locked as per the code. So you just need to enter the code, whether it's 43211234, whatever the code is. So he's saying that you have forgotten the number. What is the number you enter and then you open the safe? So girl said, "Yes, yes," replied the young lady. "Yes, that's true. I have forgotten the code and I want that jewelry which is inside." So what is the reply of Horace? Horace is saying, "Just leave it to me and you will have them within an hour. Just leave it to me. Okay, leave this task to me. I'm going to do this task. You don't worry at all. Within an hour, I'll open this safe. But I will have to break your safe. Okay, I have to break the safe. I cannot open it with a code or something, but I have to break it." So what is the reply of this lady? She's saying, "Don't worry about that. My husband would be here for a month and I will have the safe mended by that time." Mended means repaired. So this woman is saying, "Okay, don't worry about that thing. My husband will not be here for a month. Okay, he's coming after a month. So till that time, I will repair the safe. I will mend the safe. So you can break the safe and give me my jewelry." And within an hour, Horace had opened the safe, given her the jewels, and gone happily away. So it took an hour. Horace opened the safe. Actually, he broke the safe, gave her all the jewelry that was inside. He said, "Okay, this is your jewelry. This is your safe. I have opened. Just let me go." And then he went happily away. Okay. So Horace is saved. He has gone. Lady got her jewelry. But the story does not end here. Here's the twist. For 2 days, he kept his promise to the kind young lady. Now, what was the promise Horace did to that young lady? That I am never going to rob this thing. I will stop doing all these things. I promise you, and I mean it. But did he do so? For 2 days, he kept his promise. But then what happened? On the morning of the third day, however, he thought of the books he wanted. Okay, he was so fond of those rare and expensive books that on the third day in the morning, he said, I can't be away from that books. I just want those books. And he knew he would have to look for another safe. So he knew this thing. No, I have to search for another safe. Means I have to choose a house and I have to rob a safe inside that house. I have to choose where I'm going to do my next robbery. I have to plan for that, but he never got the chance to begin his plan. See, Horace never got a chance to make a plan to rob a new safe. Why? Because by noon, a policeman had arrested him for the jewel robbery at Shotover Grange. Okay, so at Shotover Grange, that is a place where he has done robbery, where he has given jewel to the lady. That place was robbed, and the entire fault has come on Horace. The policeman has come and he said that I am arresting you for this crime. His fingerprints, for he had opened the safe without gloves, were all over the room. And no one believed him when he said that the wife of the owner of the house had asked him to open the safe for her. So, do you remember the time when he lighted the cigarette, when he was having lighter in his hand? At that time, he removed his gloves. And after that, he has not put on the gloves because the woman, the lady of the house, the owner of the house was already with him. So why would he be bothered to wear those gloves and then open the safe? So the fingerprints of Horace was all over the place, all over the safe, the place where he has opened the safe. And when Horace said, I had opened the safe because the owner of the house, the lady of the house, she told me to open the safe. The wife herself, a grey-haired, sharp-tongued woman of 60, said that the story was nonsense. Okay, so the owner, the wife of the owner, the lady of the house. Who was she? She was a gray haired woman. Gray haired woman means she was an old lady. And she was a sharp tongued woman. Sharp tongued woman means a woman who talks so bitter, the woman whose language is so rough and bad. So that woman is called sharp tongued woman. Anything they speak, it hurts you. So the lady of the house or the wife was a gray-haired woman, and she was of 60 years, sharp-tongued woman of 60 years. She was not a young woman. She was a woman of 60 years, and said the story was nonsense. She said whatever story this Horace is making is nonsense. I never told him to open the safe and get me the jewelry. Whatever he is saying is wrong. Now, what is the present situation of Horace? Horace is now the assistant librarian in the prison. Now, Horace is inside the prison, he is inside the jail, and he is working there as an assistant librarian. Why he chose the work of an assistant librarian, you know very well, because he was fond of books. So, whatever duty is given in the jail, he took the duty of sitting in the library. He often thinks of the charming, clever young lady who was in the same profession as he was. Okay, so now he's thinking about that woman. Okay, that charming lady, that young lady, that clever lady. She was in the same profession as he was. Okay, so the lady who has taken the jewelry, she was herself a thief. She was also a robber, and he's thinking whatever profession I am in, she was also in the same profession. And who tricked me? To trick him means she fooled him. She made a fool out of him by just standing there and making Horace do entire thing, and Horace just gave entire jewelry into her hands without even thinking or without even trying to check whether she is actually the owner of the house or lady of the house. No, he just handed jewelry and everything to her. So that lady who was also a robber, who was also a thief, tricked him, means fooled Horace. He gets very angry when anyone talks about honor among thieves. So whenever he hears about this thing, no, there is honor among things. Okay, a thief would always take care of another thief. Thieves respect one each other or one another. Whenever he hear about these things or whenever he hear about these things, there is honor or there's some respect among thieves among one another. They have a respect. He gets angry whenever one talks about this thing. So here at the end of the chapter, we come to know that this man Horace encountered another thief and how he was fooled with that thief. So it is a question of trust. It is, as the title goes, it is a question of trust. Whether one must trust a person who is from your same profession, or you cannot trust anyone. And we had also seen this in the introduction when I asked you that you have to give me an answer. But it is said that you must set a thief to catch a thief. Okay, if you want to catch a thief, behind him you have to set a thief. You have to put a thief. But then it is also said that there is honor among thieves. Okay, there is some kind of honor among thieves. It means thieves respect one another, and they will never reveal the secrets of another thieves, or they will never let another thief get into trouble. Now, which saying does this story illustrate? This story for sure does not illustrate this thing that there is honor among thieves. There is not at all. But yes, this saying is correct that if you want to catch a thief, you need to put a thief behind him. So coming back to the introduction, and we see very well which saying goes perfectly with the chapter. I hope you understood this chapter. This was an interesting one. Keep on studying, keep on understanding more. And in case of any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, take care and have a nice time.